Welcome to episode number 21 of Shift Inside. And today we have a guest, another guest. Her name is Terri. And it's so beautiful. We had an amazing conversation about confidence. Well, we started not really knowing what we would actually talk about beside the subconscious mind, reprogramming your subconscious beliefs, and all the deep healing work, entrepreneurial mindsets. And we ended up really talking about confidence. That was the main topic, and how you can build confidence. And being an entrepreneur, you know that you need that because people sense your energy and they feel it when you're off. And what's really interesting as well is that we both started from pretty low self-esteem when we were young. We were super shy. Like we had to discover it like through talking, but she was really shy. She got bullied. I was really shy. I got also bullied. And we funny that we're together now on a podcast. And now we both have our businesses and we're taking the mic and we're talking in front of a camera, in front of people. And it's crazy. How did we go from such a low level of self-esteem to now having the confidence to speak up, speak in front of people, and really expose ourselves? Well, this is what we're talking about in our podcast. And this episode today is packed with many different insights on how you can boost your level of confidence. So, wherever you are, there is always to learn, especially when we talk about the subconscious work. Because you can do so many things on the outside. Like there are so many tools you can use to become more confident. All the actions, the manifestation, putting yourself in the nice, vibe, the community, blah, 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 blah. But if you haven't done the subconscious work yet, you're missing on a lot. Actually, 95% of the work. Yeah, not even kidding, because 95% of your behaviors are determined by your subconscious mind. So, without any further ado, I'll let you enjoy the episode. Yay! Okay, so welcome, Terri. I'm really happy to have you here on Shift Inside. And so today, well, we didn't, to be fair, decide the topic yet, but like we know what we kind of want to speak about. Like we are both really in love with the subconscious world, like the subconscious mind, and we like to speak about like how you shift your beliefs. And we like also to talk about the entrepreneurial mindset. So we're just going to see how it unfolds. This is also surprising for us. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
And maybe like as a way to start, you can introduce yourself to our audience.
Definitely. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Terri Wade, and I am a spiritual business coach, and I'm an author and a transformational speaker. And I'm here in the Bay Area, and I love my family. I got 3 pets. I got a tortoise, a cat, and a little dog, a little puppy. It's actually a Great Dane, not a Great Dane, a German Shepherd, so a big puppy, but yeah.
Cute.
I know. Yeah, life is good. Thank you for having me. It's so good to be here.
Yeah, so nice. And you were telling me that, like, just before we started, like, she was telling me that she's right now writing a third book about confidence. So I don't know if you want to introduce that as well, because this is such an amazing and needed topic.
Yeah. Well, it's called Public Speaking Made Simple, and it's how to speak with confidence and command attention. And it's really interesting because I was so shy, like as a child, because I went through some bullying, and so like now people see me from the other side of not talking, not wanting to present in class, like, and then now I'm just online, I'm going live, I'm just speaking around the world, and so yeah, people are like, how do you do it? And that's kind of how my second book came about too, with the happiness. And yeah, and then I just mentioned, really, really for me being like a spiritual business coach, just dropping the ego and being of service and being of value, and it's really about the other person on the other side, and focusing on the transformation they're going to get out of it.
So true. I mean, it's really, really funny that you bring that up because I used to be like the super, super shy kid. Like, when if I was being asked a question in class, I would just turn all red and it was like the worst nightmare and I would be like just sweating and be like, no, like almost like as if I was about to die. And now here we are, like making podcasts and chatting about that and being also what I like is that we're being really real and authentic. And I feel like this is kind of, a positive circle, because the more confident you are, the more you dare to be yourself. And the more you dare to be yourself, the more confident you are as well.
It's so true. Yeah. Once and then you don't have to rehearse to be yourself. You just be you, the self-love, the self-confidence, the self-work but it definitely took a while. It's
Hmm.
especially, I feel like so many people, they have trauma in their younger years, and then they hold on to that, and they're like living this young inner child that's wounded, and they're living their life like that. And so, and that was very much my story, at least. And so, yeah, being able to overcome that with all the personal and professional development has just been so life changing, for me, and then I feel like for my family, my community, and then spiritually, just generations, and past, present, future. And so, yeah.
All of it. All of it. The past lives. Yeah, no, definitely. And I also see, like, I don't know for you, but I really saw a major shift. Like, since I decided, like, subconscious work came to me somehow in the presence of a coach I met in Bali. And since I did that work and I was already, in spirituality, I was doing like the digging work with my emotions and really like, but more like the classical therapy, therapy way, where you're more like talking about the things. But then
Yeah.
I realized that once I started to dive deeper in my subconscious, things really started to shift and much quicker. And I feel like my level of confidence really skyrocketed. Skyrocketed? Yeah, I think did
Yeah.
you say that in English?
I think it's a word.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was crazy, but that was really because I worked with my subconscious mind because this is where all the shifts are happening because you can tell yourself and repeat the same mantra, I'm confident, and your body inside is like, no, you're not.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, and that's what I learned too. And I learned that from the movie The Secret. Like, have you seen? I'm sure the movie The Secret. Have you seen it?
No,
No.
but it
Oh my
rings a bell. Okay.
god. Yeah. No. Okay. It's so good. I mean, now it's old. It came out like the early 2000s, I think, or maybe like 2007, something like that. But it's so good. So I was always on a quest for truth, just even spirituality, like, and it stemmed from, when I was younger and I was bullied and I was like, what's the point of life? Why are we here? What are we doing? Like, and so I just felt like I was on a quest for truth. And then I heard about this movie, The Secret, came out. And then I was like, oh, what's the secret? I've been dying to know. What's the secret? And so The Secret really talks about the law of attraction. And so I was like, okay, this is interesting. But, then there's so much to it, and then I hired a couple of the people on the movie The Secret. So there's Lisa Nichols, who's an amazing speaker and transformational coach, and then Bob Proctor. Do you know? I don't know if it's different because if it's like they're American in the U.S. I don't know if they it's kind of the same industry or these people, but yeah.
Mm.
So Bob Proctor, I joined his Thinking into Results program, and he was saying it's the law of vibration that precedes the law of attraction, and the way that you vibrate, law of attraction, is because of your subconscious mind, right? So like we're getting all these thoughts like every day, like 90,000 thoughts, but like the ones we're internalizing and like taking on as truth and like letting simmer in our subconscious mind is what we're going to vibrate with, and then that vibration dictates how we're going to act and what's going to be attracted to us. And so I'm like, oh, this is good. And so yeah, like what are we impressing on the subconscious mind? Even in my A to Z Happy book on the mind chapter, I have this little stick figure. It's just a simple little, like, 5-year-old could draw this little simple stick figure, but it's just really powerful because it just has like the mind and the subconscious mind. And Bob says everyone's walking around as a stick figure, like you could see, because like the inner world's a reflection of the outer world. So whatever, you could just tell by their outer world what they must be thinking and believing about themselves because of how it's showing out in their outer world. So I thought it was so fascinating because it's like our subconscious mind is dictating the show, like our imagination, what we think, believe. It's all how our life's gonna play out.
Yeah, everything, also our relationships, because the way you behave is based on like past experiences and trauma and transgenerational as well and past lives. But that's also like a bigger part of the story. But this is so true. And how I like to describe it is like just imagine we have little figures in our head, like in our subconscious, and they have like all the script, and then they're like just checking in, and whatever happens in your life, and you're like, oh, I have a business, and I'm gonna have so much success and speaks in front of so many people, and your subconscious is like, oh no, I don't think so, because we're very shy and it doesn't feel safe to be seen. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna sabotage you, and then on the surface you're like, but why it doesn't work? I really try to, but I can't be myself in front of the camera, or I have so many videos but I don't dare to post them, or I have to do like 20 different takes before I'm kind of happy with what I have. And well, if you would just go in your subconscious, realize what's happening, talk to the parts, do the like all the work, change the
Yeah.
programs, then that's easier. Like I
It's
feel
so much
it,
easier.
yeah, the subconscious work is just so much easier. It doesn't mean that, because I really take life as a teacher. Like life
Same.
is showing you the way anyway, and you will have the experiences because what you have inside of you, as you said, we attract what we have inside. And so obviously, depending on what you have, life is going to deliver you with the lesson you need to digest and process and learn what you need to learn. But I feel like the subconscious work is a way to kind of, it's like the highway to that. It's not really a shortcut. It's just that you're going more maybe efficiently, faster, deeper, and that's just a way to speed up things in how I see it as well. I don't know how you see it.
Oh, I see it exactly the same way. It's so interesting that you're saying, yeah, like you want to go out and speak, and then your subconscious is like, that's not, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Like, yeah, because, and I think that's also like just to, that being a child and whatever beliefs we kind of adopted, where it's like it's not safe to speak, or that one time I spoke and I was made fun of, or I stumbled my words and it made me feel bad, and so I think just reprogramming that subconscious. And then also like even having the self-image in your subconscious, like who am I? Like how do I present myself? How do I live? How do I talk? What are my values? And so yeah, then I think so I have this self-image challenge going on in February, this like self-image for success challenge. And
Love
basically
that.
it's so good, yeah. Because it's really about like creating the image, and then because our mind thinks in pictures, and so it's like who do I want to be? How do I want to act? How do I want to show up? Even just like if you have like a self-image of someone that wakes up early, that eats healthy, that makes the sales calls, that delegates to a team, that has energy and vitality, so it's like you're putting this image in your mind, and then you're gonna like kind of act in accordance to it. So then when someone wants to give you like a chocolate cake, maybe you'll take a bite. You're not going to eat the whole thing because that's not like in line with your subconscious mind. You're like, like and you eat, but I don't just, take over with my temptations or my, so,
Yeah.
but
I
that's the
mean,
thing.
when we talk about chocolate, I don't know.
You lost me there.
I'm not sure.
But yeah, no, the subconscious mind, and it's interesting even just about the sabotage too, because if it's not in line, then and when I first did my book launch for the A to Z Happy, like I ended up getting a massage because I'm like, oh, I need to relax, and then I pinched a nerve. The lady like went too deep in deep tissue massage, and then it tweaked my back, and I was out for like a week, and it was right before I was going to do this, and I think that was like subconscious, even though like I didn't tell her to be in the wrong spot and dig deep. It's kind of like, I don't know, energetically you're just giving off the vibe, and I was really nervous about it, and so I think it's like the universe has your back, I believe, or I believe in God, but because the universe has your back in terms of just being in the 3D realm, and so it's like it was kind of saving me from that discomfort of not wanting to present myself and feeling ready, and so that's kind of like the sabotage, and so I just don't believe there's any coincidences, and so like when that happened, I was like, well, like, cause yeah, like, what's the lesson? You're like, life is a lesson, like a classroom, a lesson. Like you're just learning constantly, like a big master class. And so, yeah, I was like, it's worked out perfectly because in the end, I was so nervous. It saved me from like being so nervous and stuff. And like, okay, I gotta, work on that and then relaunch and redo it again. But yeah, so is it
Oh.
consistent? Like, yeah, like, do I believe I can show up with confidence? And that's kind of like imaging like a perfect launch party instead of thinking of like the worst case scenario, thinking the best case scenario. And so that's just in our mind and our programming and what's our default pattern. And so, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like in working with confidence, because there are so many, empowerment coach and you hear everything and nothing. And yes, there is action. Like, by the way, by acting even with fear, this is really giving you the confidence because then the more you repeat something and the more you do it and the more you gain confidence and you become really that person who does it confidently. But I feel like, just as we said, as the subconscious mind is really determining what you're going to do or not, and it's going to sabotage you, I feel like it's so important to. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't take action before working on a subconscious, but when you work as well with your subconscious, it's like, you live your life and you do also some deep dives at some point. I feel this is just like so helpful because this is, I mean, at least for me, I realized that confidence can be tied to so many different beliefs. It's not just confidence, it's like also how I value myself, how I value my work. It's like also the fear of being rejected. Like there are so many
Yeah.
different things, and confidence is kind of like this big, big box, and you have so many roots to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like this is a big, big one.
It's such a big topic. Yeah, I really think confidence comes through action too, because otherwise, if you don't take action, you're going to get even more stuck in analysis paralysis, and then you're going to feel bad about yourself for not, feeling accomplished in what you said you were going to do. So yeah, taking action and taking messy action. And that's why I think for me, dropping the ego and just like, why am I taking action? Like, what's the purpose? What's my mission? And then standing behind the mission, like the mission, I really want to transform millions of lives, really to wake up to the truth of our peace, love, and joy and happiness. Like that's, my mission. But the way that I do it is really through helping people, like entrepreneurs, spiritual entrepreneurs, to create offers with their passions, purpose, and expertise, and a lot of healing. So I work with like a lot of people who do energy. It's funny because I feel like you've probably done a lot of certificates and programs. We got a lot of tools in our toolbox, and so it's like, well, how do we package that? How do we put that into something that's going to actually transform lives? That I can, make a full-time living off of it. And so now, since my mission is like I want to transform millions of lives, I'm like, well, I don't need to do it alone, and I don't want to do it alone. Like, it's more fun when we all get to do it together and more impactful. So yeah, so it's like that's my mission. But then like my vehicle, I guess, my offer is by helping other coaches. We all get to do this together. And I have a background in marketing. I have a business degree, and I use a business coach, and so I have like, do you too? I don't. Oh my god, I'm so much alike. It's so funny to get in these circles.
I used to be in the business world, and now I'm a spiritual coach. Woohoo! Classical. But true.
I know. Yeah. So that's kind of So that's like the vehicle I'm using now, and so yeah, it's just been so fun. But I know that like the reprogramming your subconscious mind is so interesting because even as a spiritual coach, there's so many different like modalities, and it's like yeah. So one of the ones I love to do, and I'd love to hear what you're doing too. And I know we talked about another girl that we're masterminding with who does more like somatics and movement, and that's really awesome. But what I love to do is like just to get like grounded and peaceful. Well, the visualization, I'm really big on visualizing, affirmations, doing meditations, just to kind of clear the mind and realize like you have the power within you. Like when you let go of like the ego thoughts and the past and the present and just really get centered and grounded in the now, then you can like, okay, like what's my best plan of action, and then connecting to spirit. So once you like meditate, and then you can just clear all the thoughts and then really just own your power and feel that connection. And then once you do, and you start cultivating your intuition, I know, like, and then we can like ask for answers. Like I really believe like asking shall receive. And I studied Course in Miracles, and I was teaching workshops at Unity Spiritual Center. Have you heard of that book before? No. Course in Miracles. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Course of Miracle. Yeah.
Course in Miracles. Yeah. So that's that's like the spiritual text I've been studying. And so yeah, it has a lot about meditation, and then just saying like when you wake up in the morning, just ask like, what would you have me do? What would you have me go? What would you have me say, and to whom? Like you're asking spirit to like almost like let you just be a vessel, so you don't have to worry so much. And it does say like the outcome is already like guaranteed. Like we're all going to heaven. Like it's you're not guilty. A lot of like some of the things are similar to like what Bible teaches, but there's no like rules. There's no judgment. There's no and I love that.
Yeah, I feel you. I have definitely something like very, very similar. I do theta healing. I don't know if you know that modality.
I got certified in that too.
Yeah, and this is amazing because it works like for those of you who don't know theta healing, this is a modality like energetic healing, and the idea is to really connect to the source directly to witness healing for people, so you become a pure channel, and there is a lot of prayer in that. And what I realize for myself is that the more I surrender and I really feel in my bones that things are happening for me, like I'm being supported, and the less I have to do, and the more confident about my own skills, my manifestation, and about life and myself I become, because I just surrender, and I know that there is something bigger than me. It doesn't mean that I delegate my own authority to God or something. I mean, we are God anyway. Yeah. But, it's still like I'm very grounded in my power. I'm grounded in my confidence. And I know as well that I'm being backed up, like I'm being supported. And the moments in my life where I feel like kind of shaky, not grounded, and kind of like, icky, this is when I feel separate from God. I feel separate from, God being life, the universe, we can call it like how we want to. But this is like, and for me, this is also a big source of confidence, because I used to be so separate from God, universe, even though, I was like in the spiritual world, doing the meditation, but it's also, spirituality is a journey by itself. Like it's a whole journey. And through theta healing, that's how I connected again to this sense of like wow, there is a bigger consciousness, and being part of it, it just feels home. And when you feel home, you feel confident.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that feeling not alone, I think that's when I was in my depression when I was younger, because I felt also alone. Like my dad was working all the time, my mom was off in rehab, and then I
Mm.
just felt like it was me with like my stepsisters who were just not treating me well. And so I was like, I
Mm.
just felt so alone. But then when you have that connection, whatever the spiritual, to your understanding connection
Mm.
is, it's like you just feel like not alone. You're like, I'm not in this alone. And then like that spirit loves you so much and wants you the best for you and wants to guide you. And then you realize like there's no limitations except the limitations I put on myself because I want a spirit who is everything and expanding and expansive. So yeah, but the theta healing's so good. Yeah, I love the muscle testing that you do in theta healing to test your beliefs.
Yeah,
Like what is it? Yeah. Like what is the block? Like what's the block there that I believe,
exactly. Yeah,
yeah.
and for those of you who don't know, like actually the muscle testing is really using your body as a pendulum. Like there are many ways to do it, but I like to do it like standing up, and then you just see like saying yes out loud and no, and you see where your body is going. Like you like should be yes in the front and you no in the back. Otherwise, you're a bit like you know, messed up in the polarities. But that's something else. And then you just say out loud like the beliefs, like for example, on all levels, I'm worthy of being loved, or like whatever is coming to your mind, and you just see where your body is going, and it really helps you determine like what is your subconscious really believing in because
Yeah.
as we said, if you say I'm confident and then you check like
Like
on all levels I'm confident and it goes nope, you know what you got to work on.
that's it. Yeah.
Exactly. And yeah, and also like to come back to like the practices I do as well, like for like we can say, because it feels like we've been speaking a lot about confidence, and I feel like that's kind of like the line for today.
Totally. Yeah.
I feel like for me in the morning I really have this ritual, like I have this energy cleanse that I use. I do it through theta healing, and what I love to do is to connect with my higher self energy. And now the more you do it, the more you feel connected to that energy, and it's so amazing. I ground myself, put my roots, connect my antenna up there, and then it's like exactly as you said, I'm opening to receive guidance, and I'm like, thank you already for the miracles happening in my life, thank you for this day because it's already the best one. And then I receive what's coming up, and then I just like follow the flow. But also I realized that sometimes our ego get involved, and that's why we have to be super careful about like the energy we put ourselves in, and like I mean in which state we are in, because sometimes the ego will just like interfere, you know.
Oh yeah, the ego definitely wants to like be known and seen and like here I am and don't forget about me. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I love it. I love helping healers, and it's so interesting because I feel like this world of like spirituality that we're in, it can be kind of like woo woo, and but it's like the truth for me. It feels so true. Like the like the things we can't see, the love, the presence is like the deepest feeling of connection and like you can't see it and you can't really like put it in a tangible anything, but it's so true. So that's kind of like with spirituality too. It's like with theta healing, like Reiki energy healing. I did a session of Reiki energy healing. This was like when I was doing my book launch that I couldn't do because of my back, and I was doing all the Western medicine things of like medicine and sleeping, and then I did this energy healing session with my stepmom's aunt, and it was so powerful. Like it was just so powerful, and it just shows like because I think it was the mind, all the stuck energy of just whatever everything I was been going through, just being a stepmom, being everything, and so we like cleared it, and then I just felt better like instantly. And so I mean it wasn't like 100% like no pain and no like, irritation, but it was like so much better, like from like zero being super in pain and couldn't move to like 85%. It was just so crazy.
This
Yeah.
is so crazy. And this is all like, that's also the work from Dr. Joe Dispenza, like he also talks a lot about this. And this is all held in the subconscious, because when you, like, I had also this when I got trained and certified for Theta Healing for the first time. I did like, I had like, in my wrist, I had some pain, I think it was day two or something. And before I went to the training, I was like, okay, let's use the tool. And so, I just connected to it, like to the sensations, and did the little prayer. And just the pain went completely away. That
Amazing.
that's so crazy, and it's all determined in our subconscious. Like there, we don't realize how freaking powerful we are. Like everything is happening for us when we want it to happen for us, and so that's why I feel like healing is not about getting, more or becoming bigger. It's more like taking all the clouds and the shit you're putting on yourself because you're already this
Exactly.
amazing being.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Course in Miracles says like removing the blocks from like love's presence. It's like we've
Mm,
like put all this just like guilt and blame and judgment and shame and comparison, and then it's like you can just release all of that, and then as you release it you feel lighter. And yeah, it's such a beautiful thing, like this whole healing like works and subconscious mind, because I feel like now, like I feel like it's more like prominent, but I feel like when my parents were growing up, they didn't like have a lot of this, or it was something that wasn't really talked about. It was something,
mm,
like even like back in the day, you think like witches were like burned at the stake, and they were, it's like they had healing modalities, or maybe there's good witches and bad witches, right? But it was like, and so yeah, I feel like there's some of that,
mm.
like the stigma has kind of gone away. Now it's kind of like a new age thing almost to like be witchy, but it's like,
So true.
yeah, but so I like that, like we're coming into this, like learning about the subconscious mind, learning about changing our patterns and changing our beliefs and
Mm.
healing through different modalities than just taking prescription medicines. And so yeah, I love like the space where we're at in the world. And yeah, I had a
Yeah.
little side tangent.
Yeah, yeah, no, but definitely, no, no, no. I mean, I think it's also part of the whole thing, and I can feel like there is, I mean, also it's crazy because it goes in both hands. Like there is the worse happening and the better as well, because there is like all this spiritual elevation, there is more consciousness, and you see like all the spiritual realm, and it's like really taking over, and you also see crazy shit happening. But I feel it's kind of like the polarity is just like yin and yang, more light calls in as well, maybe more darkness, and it's like about how we navigate through that. And I feel like this is also a very good example for our life. Like it really illustrates, let's say, I mean, what's happening inside happens outside anyway. And I feel like, for example, talking about spirituality, I feel like there is also a lot of spiritual gaslighting because you always
Mm.
want to connect to the light and just see the light. But the more you try to be there, the more you pressure as well the shadow that is actually like very, very present in you as well. And I feel like for me, what's really helped me with my healing in general, like confidence, like a lot, but also in general with healing and being like feeling good in my life, it was really like accepting also my shadows, accepting when I'm feeling bad, accepting all the range of emotions and not just
Oh yeah.
always, always seeking for the amazing, positive, blissful, bubbly ones, because that's what we want. But in the end, if we want to be alive, being alive means feeling, and feeling means feeling everything, because if we try to remove certain feelings, then we remove also the other part of them. And so, yeah, for me, that was like really big, big part of my journey was at first being able to feel again because I was completely cut from my emotions. And
Mm,
then
yeah.
just accepting my shadows, accepting the part of me that I don't like. And I made like, I feel like I'm being a walking lab. I make some experimentations on myself and I just realized that whenever something happens in my life and I'm feeling like there is some resistance or tension, if I look at the parts, not just the part that I don't like, but the part who is judging this one, everything kind of vanishes and feels like so much better. So let's say, for example, like, I mean, that's the first one that's coming, and this is the one I'm still feeling like not so good around, but still, who cares? But
Yeah.
sometimes,
It's all-
having the feeling of superiority where you're like, oh, I know better than that person, when you're in the master class or whatever, and you're like, oh, come
yeah.
on. But then, if I was just staying on the like, oh, I'm better and stuff, I
Yeah.
feel like this is not resolving the problem because the problem is not actually that I have that part, it's that I have another part judging that part. Is that I
Mm,
have the part that is resisting what
yeah.
is in me anyway. And I felt like when I was, stepping outside and starting to just be with the fact that, okay, maybe I'm feeling superior here. Okay, and I felt like it was just grabbing more, like less on my reality, and it felt like much better and more opening. And then I was just like, paradoxically feeling, not superior anymore. I was like coming back to my humanity. So crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Yeah, one of the things I used to do the same thing, like push it down, push it away, because I was like high vibes, good vibes only. I only want to attract good things to me, so like don't get myself in that weird state. But then I realized, yeah, like it's not going anywhere, right? If you push it away, it's still there. It's just pushed down. It's not like away and gone and transcended, like away from you. So yeah, now I've really just let myself, yeah, whether it's like a journal, go boxing, like just scream in the car in the forest, like just letting myself get it out. And
Mm.
then as you get it out, even if it's like it's sadness, like, because I know it's spirituality, sometimes we can think like yeah, like positive vibes, like just be, spirit is happy, peace, love, joy. And so, but it's like also we are human. And so it took me a while to like get back into my humanness. Like for a while there, I was just
Mm.
like, oh, I'm just going to be spirit and it's blessed. But then it's like, well, we got bills to pay and we still, we have relationships and they're not always going to be everything doing the one things we want them to do. And so it's like, we're going to just be like hit against different things. And then there's just like, the world of like politics and wars and, all the things that happen. And so it's like, letting yourself feel it. And so it's like whether you're sad, like sometimes I'll just put on a song that gets me sad, or like put on the notebook and let myself be sad, and then I'll journal, or I'll sing out loud like a sad song and just cry and like just
Mm.
let myself feel it. And I think it's actually so beautiful, like to have those emotions, even if it's like a sadness, like, and usually it's like a sadness. Like the only reason it makes you sad is because like there was once the polar opposite, right? Like it was once so happy. Like so like my mom passed in 2020, and so like I don't know, last week or so, like I was just putting on this song that reminded me of her, kind of popped up, and then I was like, oh, and then I was like, I was in like not really doing anything, but then I was like, oh, I just like want to feel like all of the happiness I had with her, and missing her. But like so I just put it on and I was singing, and then I wrote her a letter, and I was just feeling it. It was so beautiful. Like I have to like express these emotions. Like so it's like, yeah, there's like the law of polarity. So in every good there's also the same and opposite bad. And I think that's also even just with entrepreneurship and the expansion of like making more money and taking on more responsibility. It's like the higher you
Mm.
climb, the farther there is to drop, especially because you've worked so hard for it. So it's like I'm working so hard and putting all my like energy and life force into this, and so then you have like the polar opposite that's available. And so it's like you really have to be able to like hold all of it, and just to feel, yeah, like your most powerful self, and not letting yourself, like if the opposite were to come, that you don't like lose yourself in it. And so you can still hold your power and hold your strength, knowing like I'm always guided and supported and loved. Things aren't ultimately always happening for my best, but you're able to like process it in a way that's like healthy, where you're not like, oh, I'm gonna just go drink and do drugs and just let myself let loose in that way and whatever. I mean, there's nothing wrong if that's your, I don't think, whatever feels right for you, like, that like go for it. But it's like, like processing in a healthy way where you're going to still feel like the next day, like, happy with yourself on how you like felt it. But yeah, I think it's so important. And I like when I was doing my A to Z Happy book, I studied positive psychology because I was like, oh, I want
Mm.
to. So I got certified in that. I feel like all my certifications, and I got certified in that because I was like, I want to learn more about it to have not just like my own experience and spirituality in it, but like some tangible psychology
Mm.
principles in there. And so it was saying, yeah, like the feeling of accomplishment, like going out in nature, like there's definitely tools you can use that are like random acts of kindness definitely help to like boost your mood. And so it's like, yeah, like knowing all of that, but then also like positive psychology is like managing like the negative and challenging emotions as well. So like being able to manage it in a way, because yeah, there's just so much to life. There's so many spectrums, right? It's
So
like
much
roller
to it.
coaster.
Yeah, exactly. And what I like to say is that the more you stop like trying to make things a certain way, and the more you like drop from the expectations you had, and you accept life as it is, everything becomes like just so much better.
It
Like
does.
even if the situation doesn't change on the outside, like you can really go through a shit experience and very harsh and whatever, but like when you accept it as it is and you are able to hold yourself through it, it's just like same but very different.
Oh,
You know?
yeah, exactly. Like a million percent different, and it's like everything's still the same around you. Yeah, there's this thing. It's saying, yeah, wanting things to be different is like the root cause of suffering. Because it's like, of course, like you were, evolving and trying to be into our best self, but it's like the desire, like for one, something to be different than it is, or someone to be different than they are. It's like, you just like kind of just yeah, go with the flow, like surrender. Like all we can do is control what our end of it. Like there's that serenity prayer, like grant me the courage to accept the things I cannot change and change the things I can. But yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we always come back to it in the end. It's like the most simple things. It's the most simple things, but when we embrace life as it is and we allow ourselves to feel our feelings like without trying to resist, I mean, easy to say, I know, but like to do is another thing, especially when it's like very painful. But like
Yeah.
in the end, I feel like, and this is coming back to Buddhism as well, because this is what the Buddha is teaching, like being with, and that's how you take like all the extra suffering on top of the pain out, because it's not about taking all the pain out. It's just that you are able to be with it. And there are crazy things that can happen because it can be the worst, like it can even be physical pain. But when you are looking at the pain and really feeling it, it's very counterintuitive, but it will actually dissipate. Also because like where you put your energy, like where you put your attention, your energy goes. So it's also very healing by itself. And also, it's just like you stop. Like, what's really, really painful is the resistance. Like, oh my God, I don't want to feel that. This is making it like, just like you put salt on, on food, this is highlighting everything. But like, if you take the salt out, then it's like a bit more, okay, maybe I can feel more into it. And slowly the healing happen and miracles happen just by you being without trying to judge and like being equanimous with things, actually.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, Course in Miracles says a miracle is a shift in perception, like from fear to love, and so it's like yeah, just changing how you see things. Like things are gonna still be as they are, but like just changing the way that you see it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's also such a big thing in like, being an entrepreneur, feeling confident and healing, the spiritual journey. I feel like to me, honestly, that's the base of everything because when you are with and you don't have any more resistance, this is really when you become this pure channel. And even if you are not perfectly healed, not that you need to be fixed or anything, you feel really good about life because you are one with God. And that's all we need in the end.
I
Like,
know it's
like
so good.
deeply.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's it. That's it. No, that's it. Yeah, I was out at the park with my dog, and there was this homeless guy, and he was saying like, people just were looking at him, and at first like he was like, I'm gonna teach you like martial arts, and I was like, what? Who is this guy? What are you doing? And then we started talking, and then he was just saying he knows God and loves God, and his life is so good because of that. And I was like, that's really all you need. So then it just kind of for me, it realized like if I had nothing but just that relationship with God, like that's it. And so then that also like just makes you realize, I mean, not that God wants you to have nothing. I think, the energy of it, like once you'd have everything because, but it's like, what do you believe like you're worthy of? And like, what are you willing to open up to receive? Because sometimes people are closed off even from receiving. Like even if like you can even receive a compliment, right? Like, or like, because then it's like, if you can't receive a compliment, then how are you going to receive like money or receive gifts or receive, so it's like, how good are you at receiving? And that's kind of like that holding the capacity of like, I'm worth it, I'm loved. And then it's like, I don't need to do anything. Like sometimes like, oh, if I get this and now I'm like obligated to do something back for that person or an IOU's on
So
there. But it's like,
true.
we're like, no, like, yeah, I'm just like worthy and deserving because I am. But yeah, well, I wanted to say
Yeah.
congratulations. I think I put it in our group mastermind chat, but congratulations for like launching your program. I saw you're launching like a one-on-one like Ignite like program, and I was like, yay, doing it. I think there's so much power in community because it's like, you see you're doing it, and then it becomes like this is what we do. It just like they say, birds of a feather like flock together. Like you're the sum of the 5 people you hang out with, and so yeah, seeing you're like going out there, putting yourself out there, taking risks, and all the ladies that are doing it. I think it's so important to hang out with people that are going to invoke that confidence in you, and it just makes it
So
normal.
true.
It's like if everyone's working out around you, you kind of work out. If everyone, it's like you just become like your surroundings. So it's like you're making offers, I'm making offers, we're all making offers, and we're helping people. Yeah, like we're all changing the world.
Yeah. But it's so true. It's so, so true. Like, definitely. And I can feel like now I'm in France, but I was in Asia before and there was a different energy. So, spiritually talking, I felt like it's been a bit different as well. Maybe I was doing less meditation. I've been like the vibe was a bit lower. And you are definitely the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so,
Yeah.
talking about confidence, if you want to hack yourself through feeling more confident, well, spend time with people who are feeling confident, who are able to receive and who feel good about themselves, because that's also by modeling, they are showing you how to actually do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
true. And thank you. Yeah, I just launched, actually, I launched it yesterday, like my one-on-one, like officially, because I've been speaking about it for some time. And it's basically, I love that because it's literally about the subconscious work and confidence. So how to, it's called breakthrough to break free. So basically, we just take some of the limiting beliefs that are really, really preventing people from accessing their inner voice, their inner power, their inner leader. Because I feel like that's also what we're talking a bit like before we started to
Yeah.
record. But in the coaching industry, you start to have the program this, the masterclass that, and da 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 da. And at some point, you can't even, there are so many voices in your head that you can't even
Oh
listen
my
to your
gosh.
own. So
Yeah.
crazy. And you invest crazy amount of money, not even to apply the things that you learned. So insane. And that's why I feel like it's so important to have a space where you can connect back to yourself. And because I know, and you know, that this is all linked to what we believe. So the subconscious mind, because it's easy, just in the head to be like, yeah, I can connect to my inner leader. Yeah, but how does that serve your subconscious mind not to connect with your inner leader?
Yeah. So I'm
Not to
curious.
be confident.
Yeah, so you were talking about it for a long time, and I feel like there's so many people that I talk to that are like this too, and me included. Like you're thinking about it, you're talking about it, you're in the background making it, all the things in the background, put together. What was the big like shift for you when you were like, okay, I'm thinking about it, it's in the works, and then all of a sudden I'm launching it like today. Like what was that thought yesterday? Like where was the shift?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it's really like it's funny because once you said that, I instantly remembered a healing session, like a self-healing session I did for myself, where I
Mm.
went really deep. I mean, of course, this is like a long-term process that led me to that one session, but I was able to access very deep parts of me because I know I have a pattern with like I have so many creative ideas, and at some point, my subconscious is using that as a way to, oh, there are so many things, you don't know what to choose anymore, so don't do anything. That's kind of the thing. And I started from there and I really dived very deep inside of me and I realized there was like, it was a full story, honestly. There was a part of me who was like a warrior with like a lot of fire around and so much energy, and she was like so frustrated because I didn't use it. And then I realized that there was a part who was preventing her from using it, and but she was like, she was not really the main like the main reason why. She was like kind of the resistance, a sort of like fluffy little thing who was like, oh no, but maybe we don't have the energy. And then I just saw that there were some chains behind her and it was pulling her down. And so I had to dive like very deep inside of me and to my first chakra. It's like really very, visualization is also my stuff.
Yeah.
And I accessed like a part of me who was like, it was crazy. Like you had like black smoke coming out of her mouth and her ears, and there was so much tension. And she was really the part that was resisting all of it. And so I had to talk with her, do also like realize like, okay, what is it preventing you to, like, what are you afraid of actually in the end? And so we did all the work, and by the end, the smoke had gone, and she even transformed. She was able to see the light inside. I mean, I just don't want to make it too big. I have the story on my Instagram, but basically, I was able to do that work, get to the deep, deep, deep part of me, and yeah, and that was super, super helpful, and I felt like really free from that. Like I really felt like some stuff opening, and at some point I just have to choose.
Oh
I
my God, I love that. I love that. No, that is so good. Um,
yeah, and I mean there was this, and also like something as simple as like, no worries, everyone's welcome and shift inside. Easy. I mean, really don't worry. And but yeah, also to wrap it up, what help like sometimes what helps is like just to follow your intuition. And for example, for me, that was to decide to take a side job and deciding to go look for one. And that can sound like very counterintuitive, but I felt so relaxed in my nervous system. Like I will, like soon I'm being taken care of and I will have this financial stability. Okay, then I just launch it because I want to.
yeah.
And when you take all
Just
that
a deep
pressure
breath.
away doing the subconscious work, that really helps to move things. So to answer your question.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Yeah, no, these processes are so powerful. Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. I love it. I know because I have like my Ignite one-on-one coaching where I help people, create their offers, but also, eliminate limiting
Mm.
beliefs and step into their power. But there's another program I want to launch with the Course in Miracles. And so I've been sitting on it for a while. Like it's in my Google Drive and my docs, and I have like the outline, and I'm still like waiting. I don't know if I'm waiting for the perfect moment, but I think what I need to do, and this is what I did with my book, is like I had someone write the foreword for me, like before I was done with the book. So like it was like this powerful lady in the Course in Miracles industry, and
Mm.
so I had to write the foreword, and so she wrote the foreword, and then I was like, well, now I'm held accountable, and so I gotta like make this happen. I gotta do it. And so with the Leading with Spirit like program I want to launch for Course in Miracles, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start getting some like powerful people, experts in there, like booked in. So then it's like, all right, we're doing this. Like they've already committed. Like I got some accountability now. I got to like make it happen. Yeah, like
Mm.
getting some skin in the game because yeah, like that's one I've been sitting on, and I don't know why. Like I think what happens is like we put ourselves in a box where it's like, am I a spiritual coach? Am I a business coach? Like I want, blend spiritual and business. And one of the things I got this comment from somebody saying like, why are business coaches always trying to like bring Jesus in and make it all spiritual and like, like just give me the strategy. And so I was like, like maybe I'm not your coach, right? Like it's like this is like it's like a holistic view of like doing it, right? So yeah, so even still sometimes I'll get caught up in like the spiritual, the business, but it's like it's all parts of us. And so even if this becomes like a purely spiritual program, which I've taught unity workshops and it's been purely about, spirituality. It's like, I don't have to only teach business. I don't only have to, and I can combine it or not combine it. And so I think that's like a nice thing to feel like you don't really need permission on, but it's nice to know that you can. And like what you were just saying, like applying to a job again, it's like we hear this thing like burn the ships, no plan B, and like if you're serious, you're gonna go all in. And so it's like, it's like yeah. I made this post on my story. It was like a repost. I don't know the lady's name, but she was saying like there are no rules and like break your own rules. Like whatever it's like you're making the rules. Like we're just living by this society says like be married by 30, have a kid, live in a white picket fence, like, whatever. But it's like, who says, like, like that's success or that's whatever. Like, and we were talking about success earlier too before we started recording. But it's like, who says, like, what does success mean? It's like is like happiness success? Because I mean, it's great to have money and we can, I believe, have it all. And maybe not all at once. Like you don't want all the best sushi in the world at your, footsteps, like right at the same time because you're not going to eat it all. It's going to go bad. But, it's like,
very true as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and so, yeah. No, I definitely believe like we can have it all, and making our own rules. I think that's like a new fun concept. I'm like really trying to like live into because it's like who says? And I do believe like our imagination is so powerful. Our manifestation powers are so powerful because we are one with God, which means we're one, so we are one and the same. And
exactly.
Yeah. So it's like we have that ability to create, to move mountains, to. And it's like, what do you believe? Like, what do you believe is possible? How big are you thinking? Because a lot of times we're not thinking big. We're thinking small because we're like putting ourselves in this little box and this is what we can do, this is what we can handle, this is what we're responsible of. And then it's like, no, like think bigger. I just did a dream board too with my stepdaughter yesterday and it was so fun. Like she loved hers and I loved mine. We're cutting magazines and putting Post-its and drawing on it. And it's like, how big do you want to dream?
Yeah, exactly. So. And I feel like this is also what's bringing a lot of confidence to the table because like once you as well, like not only break the rules from society, but your own rules, which is like your subconscious beliefs, like the one that are really not serving you, that's how you start to embody this like big person you already are. And that's what you need also to break free from confidence. And also one last thing I want to touch on, and then we can wrap it up. It's like also from what you said with like this, trying to have it perfect and understand what am I exactly here to do. I want to be so clear and I want to have the perfect message before I launch it. But actually by doing the thing without looking for perfection, this is actually what's gonna deliver it to you. Like the perfect message or like the message that's really going to resonate with people, well, that's something that builds over time and that is being delivered to you by way of you engaging with the world and you finding out like how people are reacting and how they're reflecting your own like offers. And that's giving a lot of confidence as well because and so much mental free space because when you're just like, okay, I'm just going with something that I feel being very real, authentic, and I'm putting it out to the world, and from there that's how you can adapt and slowly make your way to the thing that you are actually here to do.
Right.
Something I'm realizing that at the moment and makes a huge difference. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love this. This has been so great talking to you.
It's been a great time and we touched on so many points on confidence. So I feel like that's going to be the overarching like topic of this episode. Yeah. And if there is anything else you want to say, like where can people find you or any last word you want to say before we wrap it up completely?
Love it. Yeah. Well, I love being on Instagram. So my Instagram is at Lady Entrepreneur Society. You can find me on there, on Instagram, on YouTube. It's Lady Entrepreneur Society as well. Or you can just look me up at terrilade.com.
Amazing. Well, then I wish you a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
With your dog and your turtle and your cat.
Oh, so good.
Oh, so awesome. Amazing.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much and see you soon.
Take care.
Ciao.